And relax.
Or so you say. I trust you,
Yes,
though.
I do.
I do. Most of the
Somebody's
time.
got to.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. It's
Hello.
Friday. It's time for a review.
Let's do it. This is not the time traveling season. This is the Great Vidra Cloud season. It's not. It's
Oh,
not Friday.
well, that's right. We had a Anomaly on Thursday and Friday, so we couldn't do this. So, doing it today on Monday to talk about the Anomaly.
But actually, you guys got bonus stuff because you got 2 different first reactions. So that's a bonus. You got. You'll have 6 hours of us. Well, I don't know how long do you review for your amount of time.
Hour and a half.
Yeah. So you got a bonus 2 or so hours. Lucky you all. But finally, as a duo, where it's much easier to read the chat because we're sharing time, etc. And hopefully you guys will have thoughts and impressions. Now that it's all settled in, it's our first one where we've actually had time to, settle in
And
it.
and everyone in the chat, I'm aware it's not Friday. That was a joke because we always do these reviews on Friday. So there's no sense telling me that it's not Friday.
It's not
Got it.
Friday. Friday. Got a review on Friday. There you go. It's a contribution.
Jeff Sturm, who's been a member for 3 months at the rank of commander. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Cisco will return to fight the Iconians. Called it.
That would be a twist.
It'd be awesome to have him back. And Ozzy Medeiros, $2. Red alarm. Alert red. Alarm alert.
Yes.
Thank you, Ozzy.
Yes. Welcome.
Mm.
Oh, thanks, John. Appreciate it. And obviously, you did all get our normal spoiler-filled review, the edited format. Just so you know what we thought, but this is a whole different format. And you got, it's kind of fun though to see all of our reviews back to back with the pictures of you and me in the uniform, like staring at each other across the 2 thumbnails. Is quite fun actually. The placement of them. It's quite cute.
Cute.
Wanna play it,
Well,
them?
yes. Yeah, might as well.
Okie dokie.
Go share. 46 of you here, 32 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Let's get up to 50. Yes, I'm well aware it's not Friday. If you don't know my humor by now, geez, guys, relax in the chat. Just saying. Hit that like button, though. And he's going to share this. As you saw, we got a super chat from Ozzy. We also got member perk from Jeff Sturm there. So if you guys want to join the channel, you can do so. There's a join button down there by the subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit that join button. Check out the different tiers you can join at, and help us on a monthly basis with the joining the channel. That's really awesome. It really helps out big time. So if you can, please do. But super chats are a great way to communicate like real time with us during these reviews. We do read them all on the air, so you basically can tell us or have us say anything you want us to say on the air because we have to read them, and we do read them, so that's cool. You can also send us a PayPal at trekyards@hotmail.com. The information for that is in the description of each video. So check those out. Also check out the Teespring store and the TeePublic store. There is a Cyber Monday thing on right now for 35% off on the Trekyards TeePublic store. So click that link down below and go check out some of the Trekyards merchandise. Grab yourself something cool. Would be awesome. I got this cool Trekyards web series shirt that I'm wearing right now. So if you want to do that, please feel free. We'd really appreciate that. And just hit that like button, share this around. You know the routine, guys. It's all easy and simple and free, unless you want to super chat. So, and if you can, we'd really appreciate it. So, yes. But we're going to be reviewing episode 2 of season 4 of Discovery today, called Anomaly. And it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts on this one. I'm not sure what you guys think of the episode, but I preferred it to episode 1. I know Samuel didn't as much, so it'll be an interesting little review to see what we agree and don't agree on. Graviton eclipse. Uh, at the end of the episode here, book is getting the data. Okay. But anyway, yes. No, well, they're talking about Graviton Eclipse being a known entity. Sure. But this is two beta black holes I forget what they called them, but that are converging or basically causing these waves. So, but we will talk about that as we go through the review here. So, Samuel has left. Yes. Interesting, Jose. Interesting. But yeah, guys, hit that like button. Let's get up to 50 likes. We can easily do that. We only need 11 more. So if you haven't hit that like button and you're just joining us, by all means, give it a tap. We would really like that. So Christmas party was great, Matthew. Thank you for asking.
Okay, I've shared it, and I also went outside and also screamed, "We're live on Trekyards!" to try and get some more interest. So hopefully my neighbours will be engaged now.
Good man. Good man.
I thought it was worth a try.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you want to do a poll? Is there a poll we could do, Stuart? Get the audience polling
yeah,
up?
I got a poll. I got a poll idea.
I did quite a few on my one, and you guys were really interactive. Ozzy says no shuttle by door, but can we just appreciate they have not used the Discovery shuttle design for a while?
Yeah, about that today. I was moving in my Eagle Moss stuff from the bin outside and back in the house because I'm starting to get things back in the house now. And I saw the Discovery shuttle. I'm like, that's a nice design. I just wish they wouldn't have put it everywhere, like in Picard and everything. And then I thought, wait a minute, we haven't seen this in a while. It's like they snatched it away from us. They're like, you can never look at it again because you complained about it so much.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So bad Samuel left. No. And it is a bit weird, Jose, that no Starfleet and no member world has ever seen two black holes come together. Seems like you would have seen it in thousands of years of history of the entire galaxy.
But they're not just typical black holes. I forget what Tilly says. They're a special form of black hole.
Well, again, their theory at the start, but yes, I guess they're subdividing the theories, but yeah, it's odd. It's like now anything they say is like massive retcon. Like, oh, we can never show X. If they say, oh, this has never happened since, it's like, well, wow, okay. I guess that takes it all out of the equation.
So I put the poll up. And the first poll is in this season so far, which is better, episode 1 or 2?
I had the exact same poll. Never show on
Did you?
on my one. Yes. I think I remember the results as well, I think. I'll tell you. But then, Stuart, go for it. What did you think of season 4, episode 2 of Project Lower Discovery? I was so autopilot it broke so hard.
Discovering the lower decks of Prodigy.
While talking about Picard and going to a strange new anomaly world. Faith of the Heart.
I like this one a lot better than episode 1, honestly. Like I said, a lot of characters got some really great lines and some great interactions, which I really appreciated. There was a bit in the middle there where it got a little dull, a little bit repetitive. I rewatched it again today, and yeah, it's not quite as repetitive as I remember it being. There is new stuff, but there's a lot of explosions and things that could have been trimmed out a little bit to make it a little bit more streamlined and maybe added some stuff. But I really appreciated the character interactions in this one, and some of these other characters like Adira and Tilly and Hugh and Stamets and Book trying to getting more screen time than say Burnham. Plus, Burnham was a fantastic captain this week. She actually
a phrase you never thought you were going to say.
Yeah. No, she actually felt like a captain this week. The return of Sari was awesome. We even got Bryce back, who kind of saved the day somewhat, which was cool. And yeah, there was just a lot going on in this one, and some really nice ship shots as well, which was nice. Some new tech with the programmable matter tether and the remote hologram thing. So that was cool as well. I just wish they would have figured out how to use programmable seat belts for when the gravity goes off and you can't reach your station. Really, programmable matter seat belts.
Or
it's
just
easy.
the force field.
Or a force field. Yep.
Or just their comm badges keep them connected to the chair via magnetic
Well,
field.
I'm sure they have little built-in tractor beams in those as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Just tractor beam yourself to your console.
Oh yeah, just
So I really liked it. I thought it was better than episode 1. So that's my thoughts on it. How about you?
The reverse, which is the same as last year, which is funny. Where I thought the Burnham-centric, but Burnham and book-centric, the universe was better than the, crew talks about the crew episode, and then the exact same thing happened here, Stuart. You like one better, I like the other better. Confusing, but hey-ho. And rewatching it, it's so mediocre. The A-plot is naff. It's just not very good, and you need a good main story to drive a story. And this is not a good main story. It's okay up until a point, and then it falls off a big cliff of energy and interest and intrigue. And I've actually also worked at the moment this time when Book does try to book it the first time and fails, and they have to have this whole subplot of him with Burnham. That's when they should have left. That was the perfect moment. You've had enough in the Anomaly. Go, and then we'll continue the story. But then it drags for another 7 minutes of that, plus other things. I worked at the exact point where they jumped the shark. And the explosions are way more noticeable the second time. It's really obnoxious. I almost now don't want to see the bridge because it's just so obnoxious and takes you out of it to the point I'm tuning out. The episode just tuned out all those stuff because it's not engaging. It's ruining engagement for that and just the.
The pyrotechnic thing is just over the top.
Because every time you show the spark, if you show sparks 10 or 12 times, they lose effect. And since the ship is not actually being damaged, its shields are up. Well, what's being damaged? Why is stuff exploding if there's not any damage? Like, in TNG, that would be like, well, we've lost the shields, we've lost part of the hull, power's failing. That level of damage is massive. It's nothing. It's completely irrelevant. Same with Bookship. It's all exploding, but it means nothing. So it just completely ruins any tension for me and just the pace. So yeah, it's just mediocre to not very good, I think, because the main story. But I like the intrigue science stuff. I think that they nailed quite well. And the Anomaly itself, conceptually, is more interesting the second week on. It's just everything inside of it is bad, / not good, / dull. But I do like the twist of, it's not what I think it is, that does put you on the back foot. And the ending is bittersweet, although the ending makes even less sense now. I second watched it because Tilly actually says, we've stayed static. And if Book is connected by a tether, then if the Anomaly is going at hundreds of kilometers an hour, it would pass them and be gone too quickly. So the Anomaly is not moving. And you can see it. You can see it out of the window. It's just not moving. And so the Anomaly is not moving.
Yeah, it's not.
It's 5 kilometers.
It's creating graviton waves that are moving, but the Anomaly itself is in the same spot.
Yeah. So it's not a threat. Like the ending is about we don't know where it's going. It's not going anywhere. It's a static anomaly. Like it's not a threat. It completely devolves at the end by the last few sentences. It's just such a strange thing to do. I mean, I'd love to see where it goes, but it's just very strange. Very strange. So I caught different little things second time, but yeah, not so great.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I didn't really think about that.
Well, I didn't catch it second time because I assumed maybe they were like matching course with it, because you assume it's moving because that's how it hit Quajon. It's moving, but it's not. Well, we were assuming it's going to like phase out and go somewhere, but there's zero evidence to that. So.
Yes, Jondo, they said it was moving at the end, but it's changing directions.
Ah, see, that's different.
So yeah.
Moving but not moving, because they weren't moving. It contradicts itself.
I don't remember them saying it wasn't moving. I just assumed that they were just sitting with it, like.
Well, they said they were stationary, so if they're not moving, then it weren't.
Well, stationary in relation to the Anomaly.
Well, I didn't say that. I didn't see it move, and you saw it move at the end, but that was because it was. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. Well, let's just jump into it then, I guess.
And super chat your thoughts, guys. Let us know what you think. Where is the? So it starts off
we hit
with
50. If we hit 50 likes, that's good. 75 is the next goal, guys.
So Quajon Bud flashback scene with a damn traumatized Book, as he would be. He just witnessed the apocalypse.
Well, kinda. Yeah. This is just a quick little like. I need you to leave, Michael, because Michael's asking if she's okay, and and then she gets the call from Bryce about somebody waiting for her. So she's like, "Can this wait?" And Book is just like, "Leave, just leave me alone." So
and now you said this reminds me of like, you've said this before. Don't ask me if I'm okay when I'm clearly not okay. So I just don't ask if you're okay because you'd rather me not ask because I know you so well.
Like I'm not okay right now. I'm in a pissy mood right now. In case you couldn't tell.
There you go. I'm really tired, but I'm trying. So
I know I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
But
and I'll feel better by the end probably. So.
Yeah, but it's sad because them two are great, and it's like an uncomfortable scene to watch. That's the point. But it's like yeah, don't even.
But what's even greater than those two is the fact that Saru is back. And I thought this scene with Michael and Saru was amazing. It's good to see him back, and you'll find out that symbol on is a symbol for community, and he's still part of the council. He's just gonna do things from a distance. So that was awesome. And honestly, this is where she's like, he's taking it really hard. He's hyper focusing on things. And yet she's blaming herself for the death of the 3 people on the station. And Saru kind of puts her in her place and says, you're also, obsessed with things. And the fact that later she talks to Book and Book's determined to go on this mission. And she's like, no, she's doing the captain thing. But let's put Michael, like every time there's been anything in the last 3 seasons, she's like hell-bent and determined to go do it. He points that out, and I like that, but that's later. But this scene with her and Saru was really good, really well done, and I really enjoyed it. So,
noted acting performance differences with Doug Jones. Doesn't feel like captain anymore. Like it'd be hard pressed to see him as a captain in Starfleet. I'm kind of surprised I assumed he'd come back as an ambassador, and so the uniform's honorary. But to have him implied like, no, I'm back in Starfleet. It's like, why? You found your new purpose? So that felt kind of odd to me. I kind of hope he's going to move on from this because, I agree Starfleet needs him more. That's not the vibe he's giving anymore. He's not this commanding presence. He's this calm, grandfatherly figure, even though he's... Yeah. Just a bit weird.
John Doe says, Detmer says at 1409, matching the Anomaly's course and speed. So it is moving. So there you go. Yeah, we'll get to that one. We find out, too, that... Saru's been offered the command of the USS Sojourner.
I was worried he was going to say Voyager for a second. I was like, but luckily not.
Well, and he says he's not going to accept it. He's going to, you were there for me when I needed you. I'm going to be here for you, basically. So I thought that was really great. So yeah.
No, it's good. It's just I was surprised at how quick it was. He came back with no fanfare. He's just there all of a sudden. And it didn't, and there was no motivation for him to come back specific. It was more on his side, on the other side. And then she summoned him for some, like it was just, they clearly just wanted to get him there. And it's like Worf in Insurrection or First Contact or Insurrection. Why are you here? Because of reasons. Okay. Kind of had that vibe, but now he's there. Doesn't matter. But she's taking command way more seriously than you think she would. She's rebellious officer number 1. It's odd to then have her suddenly be in command. They've clearly changed how they write her a lot, but she's better for it. She's emotionful, but in the right way. Commanding, but in a, overbearing way. Well, I was kind of surprised she wasn't even slightly insulted by him saying, you're going to need me to check up on you. Because that's, they hated each other years ago, and it...
That's not what he said. He said an extra set of eyes is helpful. Well, Captain Giorgio knew that, and so I just...
Well, it's because I know you're new to command. You need to, the eyes have already done it. It's a minder, but it's in a nice way. I suppose I'd say something slightly, not snarky, but slightly burning me about that. But she takes it.
I didn't get that implication at all. That he's already been a captain, so they're friends, and they know each other well enough that they can temper each other. That's the way I took it. I never got that inclination. So.
Well, otherwise we take a fresh command. It doesn't need to be here. We didn't do anything.
No, he wants to be.
Yeah, to help her and watch after her.
Yeah.
And then you get the best scene.
5 light years across, the size of this anomaly. Yeah, this is great. Even the Navarre Science Academy offering their services, even though they're not a member of Starfleet, to be able to help.
And while we love the actress, she had emotion in her voice enough. It was like, oh, I'm gonna. There was such a nuance of yes, I'm gonna. This might go. My government might not like this, but if I'm doing it, there's a kind of there's a little bit of. The only thing I didn't like about the scene is that Vance is given almost nothing, and I'm sad about that because he's such a powerful force in season 3, and he's very not here. It's like, oh man, he's the head of Starfleet. Give him some more lines.
This is where they find out that it's a, their theory is it's a roving binary black hole. So 2 of them are merging, which is creating these gravitational anomalies. So
it's a good theory, and first time round you think of it as being you think this is the answer, but if you watch the second time, you everything they say is with a caveat. We think this, the data's this. So it's actually it's nicely played the second time. Doesn't go quite full on to commit to being what it is. Well, I was surprised that for some reason Stamets is the one giving the talk, given that he's an exobiologist, not a gravitational. He shouldn't be the one giving the talk. Tilly maybe, but he's there because main character. That felt off. And the worst, what might be the worst thing about the episode, Book walks in. It's a classified specialist meeting with the heads of Starfleet. He manages to walk behind the President of Federation, head of Starfleet, and President Navarre, unguarded, without whatever. It's such an odd. Like, he's not allowed to be there, and he'd be tracked, and it's such an awkward moment of you don't understand what's happening, do you? Show, like, you shouldn't be able to do that. That's silly, and everyone's like, oh, it's fine. It's like, no, you shouldn't be there. Just plays silly. It would have been fine if he was like there in the background because he was brought in, but he just shouldn't be there. End of story, and he shouldn't have been walked in like that. End of story. So bit of a weird one.
Yeah, so it's headed towards the Riscot system. So they need to get evaluations of what's going on underway right away, so they can get the data they need to. Well, they need to evacuate people. And I love how the Navarre president's like, we should be prepared for civil unrest because it's going to remind people of the burn. That was fantastic. This was a really good scene. I really enjoyed this. You're right. Vance didn't get enough, and Stamets really shouldn't have been there.
And yeah, that was it also implies, because it's not just the fact this is post-burn, so that implies it's the first biggest thing since post-burn, although she wouldn't say that. But also the idea that they couldn't scan very far until very recently. So there's been shit happening, but they just can't have got involved. Now suddenly they've got this bigger, broader perspective. It's like, oh no, now this news is going to spread because we can talk to each other now. You know, there's going to be transports traveling between planets talking. Whereas I'm sure, 2 years ago you could hold some information back really easily. So it's a whole different world again, which is nice. It's a grand feel. Jason, why is he not allowed to be there? Because he's not Starfleet. He's not in top Starfleet. It's a security meeting with the president. What do you mean? Would you let random Joe walk into the Oval Office? No. To talk to the president? No. So easy. And yeah, there should have been Jet Reno should have been the one.
Yeah, she should have been.
Or at least her. I don't. Well.
Oh, she's an engineer.
Well, yeah, it should have been Tilly and Adira. Because they're like science, they should have been the duo really.
You think there'd be more senior science officers on board though?
Rather than there aren't really, are there? Well, Sari was a chief science officer, second in command and chief science officer. Burnham was a science officer. Stamps an engineer, and Tilly's a science helper. That was how it originally was.
Well, I can't wait until Jet Reno shows up. She's going to be in it more. Quite a bit in the last half of the season, but COVID restrictions and stuff so she's just absent from the first couple. It's just odd.
I mean, she was never really established as like a big part of the crew, so it's like she's just not there yet. So hopefully they'll say, I was busy like tinkering the Voyager, now here I am. I've learned all the tricks. Hopefully they specifically call out why she's been away for so long. Would be good.
69 likes with 92 people here. We're still going for that 75 likes, so 6 more likes, guys. Hit that like button. If you have anything to mention, let us know. You can send a super chat. It would be awesome.
Yeah, I think we had one in 30 minutes, which is a bit scary. So hopefully, put your thoughts in.
The next scene is just Tilly's like, glad you're back. Are you taller? And then she comes to the realization at the end of the talk, like, how life is just a blink. It's one heartbeat in the entire lifespan of the universe. And she just doesn't think she understood that before. So I think she's dealing with the death of the guy in the last episode, which she wasn't herself in the last episode either. And we find out later she talks to Hugh. We'll get there when we get there. But I don't know, just a weird... It was nice to have Sarah and her, walking down the corridor having a chat. And then he puts his hand on her back, which is nice. So
it's a very season 1 scene. Like,
seems like
she feels like season 1 Tilly. He feels like season 3 Saru. But I liked it in general. But when she, like you said, this is when she realizes about the fleetingness of life. Do you not realize that last year you left, your mum died between you traveling through Anomaly, all of your family? Like, if leaving everyone you've ever known in the dust didn't make you think that, why would seeing one guy die, like, there's such
I think that's weighing on her mind too. That's what it's going to come down to when she starts talking to Hugh about it.
I would love
she was
that.
She was already off in the first episode, so she's already missing her family and stuff.
I hope that's it, because it doesn't come across. But you're right, that's deeper stuff. Hopefully, because they've not even mentioned it this year.
It's going to come across.
Okay, hopefully. Because I just get a sense it's just like that's just triggered her, which is fine. Just she literally moved across the universe. But it's a nice enough scene, and I actually get the sense they might have given Saru like bigger shoes or something, because he does, like, I don't know, he seems like, I don't know, maybe the angle choice as well.
Nice welcome back scene to the bridge, and he's like, well, they call him Captain. He's like, no, call me Saru, and it's the whole Mr. Saru. That's acceptable. Just going back to the Mr. Spock thing. So,
well, I'm not sure what role he's on the bridge necessarily, but that's okay. But they successfully achieve we're a unified bridge feeling here. Possibly the first time they've ever done that. Because everyone has a bit of a moment visually. You get a sense of everyone being here. This is the start of them on the bridge together, which is what we did. We did say there was going to be, well, if Burnham's in the captain's chair, she has to talk to her damn crew, which is they happen to get lines. Brand new age. And boy, those costumes pop more, don't they?
Yeah.
So much nicer.
And speaking of, this is the beginning of her being a great captain in this episode. This speech about facing this threat and the destructive power, and we lost colleagues and friends and Quajon. So this is a really good captain's speech to the whole ship. And we're going to take care of this and make sure this doesn't happen again, essentially. So.
My only slight niggle here is that they go from talking to the crew to jump in 5 seconds, but Stamets clearly is watching outside the unit, and it's like, but I guess he could quickly jump in, but what a, okay, right, okay, now we can jump. So just have him in the cube, just a weird edit. Deer is not opposed either, which is weird. But I think they're just taking cutaways from other scenes, is what it feels like there. It's just a bit funny pacing wise, because he has to be in the cube, he has to be touching it, he has to be spooling up. It's the only way they can jump. So, just a bit funny to me.
I think they probably streamlined the process. It's much quicker now. Maybe he doesn't even need to be in the cube anymore. Who knows?
Wireless sporing. I mean, hey. Yeah. Well, yeah. But I think it's my favourite version of the spore jump. We just keep perspective of the ship. It feels way less fancy, way more grounded. It kind of has a simplicity to it that I really like. Yeah, it's just a really nice sort of.
The jump was cool too. I don't think the sound was obnoxious as the first episode. So.
I like how the stars keep spinning. It was just a much better version of the effect, I think. It felt just more, It wasn't as obnoxious.
Mark Lawrence throws in $5. Thank you so much,
Mark Lawrence.
I can't think of a question, so here's money anyways. Thank you, Mark. Much appreciated. We're also at 100 people watching and 87 likes. Let's get up to 100 likes now. That's 13 more, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't. Caboodle Fish throws in £5, so thank you.
Boom.
Hated this speech. Not on our watch. Makes no sense at all. If it was heading for Earth, what would they do? Nothing. They have no power to prevent it. They don't know that yet, though.
They don't know anything.
they're going to get the information to
Yeah.
at least try to figure it out. So didn't bother me at all. But not on my watch
Well,
thing.
and in
So.
fact, I think it works better than laying on because we established last week that Burnham has a psychopathic, deep down need to save everybody. And so when she says not on my watch, she means not on my physical watch. If I'm a captain, I won't let this thing happen. So it was more. I mean, she was clearly talking from the heart more than like Picard. The Picard speech would be more formal. Hers was really from the heart, and so yeah, there's a certain personal touch, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in that context, I think it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Although it is funny though to think they jumped like they're in Starfleet like 2.5 minutes ago. They're already at the Anomaly. It's such a, the pacing. So like that's not its issue. It's just mentally. It's like we're gonna go do this Anomaly in 3, 2. Okay, we're there. Let's start. It's like you know.
Mm-hmm. Caboodlefish asking, how would they stop 2 black holes? They don't know.
Well, they're not there to.
Is there a way that they can? They're not sure yet. They need to get information first.
Well, red matter.
So they can at least warn people about where it's going and evacuate planets if they need to. So that's what this mission is about. And then to see if they can get any other information while they're there. So they're not necessarily going to stop them. They're trying to just predict its course and be able to warn people.
Well, no ship can get to the Anomaly as quick. So it's completely a survey mission. Because they don't, they're not planning to send bookship in until they do. So this is literally just a scouting. But because it's so different to what they think, they can't rely on normal scanning.
Mm-hmm. yeah, Detmer does say matching the anomaly's speed and to maintain relative distance. So it is moving. So there you go.
Like it's not fast enough because you would think if it's traveling, like it's not going. They're not at warp. So it instantly tells you they're not going at warp because you can't go to warp sidewards, right? So they're at sublight, so it isn't a warp capable thing. At least that's confirmed. Just no sense in that episode.
Yeah, so they're getting readings that aren't expected as far as subspace gravitational waves. So that's very odd. And then I love how Stamets comes on and goes, curiouser and curiouser. And scientific observation. Oh, sorry. We're just not seeing stuff we're seeing stuff here that we shouldn't be, like the accretion cloud, because a black hole would suck all that stuff in. So there's still this mass of like planetary debris and stuff that shouldn't be there. Large amounts of dark matter as well surrounding the gravity well. So a black hole makes sense, but it doesn't at the same time. So.
Yeah, no, I like this instant reversal. It certainly was interesting. I still find it interesting that, there is zero animosity between Stamets and Burnham, which is definitely not what they clearly reversed course on that plot line. Hey, they've got something else to do. It's just interesting how he first met her when she was a convict, under her command as a pilot person. Going to the Glen, clearly her superior, really condescending. And now he's like, yes, Captain. Like it's interesting how the power dynamic shifted because he feels so submissive here naturally, but where their original roles were, she was Michael Burnham, the one that everyone knows as being the traitor. So this one just felt quite odd to see. But yeah, everyone's a team here, and I like the energy. And I hope there's more of this sort of scene because this is like everyone doing good and everyone.
Yes, very Star Trek.
Yes, with an anomaly. Yeah.
But they have to go in and get readings, and the suggestion's made to send dots in, but dots are too small to go in, and that would be very difficult to communicate with them anyway. So there's too small to penetrate the dust. Book volunteer says ship because I like this. It's the right size. It's not too big, not too small, and it can also change shape to offset the torque.
Not that we see it do it even once in the episode, just for the record. But it's implied. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, and Tilly's like, hey, that science holds on that.
Yeah.
But Burnham's kind of hesitant, obviously. And then Book wants to talk to her privately.
Well, no, because she says, okay, Detmer, you're going to pilot, Stamps go with her, which logically makes sense. She's the pilot, whatever. And then he's like, told you privately, which I appreciate didn't just say it out loud. And then takes her into this brand new meeting room, warm, comfy. Like,
Yeah, maybe it is her quarters because it is different than the ready room.
yeah, whole different room. It's really elaborate. Like, it just feels so. She's pimping
It's
her.
cool.
It is very cool. And I don't know about you, but I call the fact they have a lot more depth of field this week's episode. They have a lot of crispy, out of focus close ups. They don't normally have that much. It's the same director as last week, but it was very stylistically. I think part of it is that they're on the same sets almost the entire. There's no like extra, and so they try to make that a bit more unique by having it out of focus. It makes it a bit cinematic, and you can make a boring black grey wall look more interesting by depth of field. It's just the nature of the thing. And it's amazing how it is literally a movable force versus Burnham, because you can tell going he's not going to take no, and you can tell she's going to give in from the start. But it's amazing how much she's like, well, I'm doing it either way. I was kind of waiting for her to say, you know, I could just put you in the brig or beam into the, like, she didn't even once counter with a, oh, I'm doing it whatever you say. It's like, security, take him to the brig. Like, you're not doing it if I don't want you to. I'm surprised she didn't, but it would have made the argument worse, but, you know, you can kind of tell,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, he ended by saying you can either throw me in the brig or you can shoot me out of the sky because I'm going. Because I'm not under your command. I'm not Starfleet. So, but no, it was great because he even said, you know, if this happened and it was you in my position, you would push like hell to do this.
She would have been gone. She would have been in.
But she would have left already. Yeah.
She did in episode 2 or 5 on Earth. She already left. Well, ask the captain.
No, but it's great. It's great. She's staying in her captain role, and I like that. It's kind of new for Burnham. Even the last episode, she didn't feel very captainy when she decided to leave the ship and stuff. So I like it.
Now, she does feel like a massive hypocrite here.
Oh, yes.
She's preaching the exact opposite of everything she's ever been. But it genuinely feels like the president last week got to her. Whatever happened in these last 48 hours, she took an internal look and said, I need to be better. I need to really use this chair. This is so hypocritical, but that represents, hopefully, that she's now different. And in fact, the Burnham character, less interesting this week because she plays the captain role. That's the irony. She plays a really decent captain role, just not as dynamic, but because she's a captain role on the centre seat, doing what you're meant to do. So it's a really interesting swap of things here. But yeah, massive hypocrite for young her.
Yeah. Caboodle fish, 5 pounds. So thank you.
Thank you.
This is when Stamets is super toxic, right? Interrupting and talking over Tilly, saying what she was going to say and embarrassing her. No, not at all.
I don't think Stamets and Tilly have ever seen together this episode.
Well, they're both on the bridge, but she wasn't over talking her at all. You must be watching a different episode. This sounds more like season 1 or season 2 Stamets.
Yeah, I don't know if not this bad.
Yeah. Oof. Then we get the next scene with Gray and the body. And we got to mention for Picard that this body was designed after the Soon type, and it's an 800-year-old design.
Although Mr. Trichson, Jean-Luc Picard, that would have been such a better joke.
And Admiral and Picard, yeah, nobody important. Moving on. Somebody I read about. Yeah, pretty much. No, it's a good scene. Got rid of the mole on her hand, or his hand. Sorry. So yeah, I mean,
the issue is this one's better than the next one, but it's such a hard right turn, and it just shouldn't have been in this episode, or should have been earlier in the episode. It's kind of weird, especially as they're at the anomaly, like big ass danger, and then this little subplot. It's kind of, it just doesn't really fit in the tone of the episode. All the sung thing's fine. It's nice they were able to actively retcon out Michael Chabon's bullshit, last minute bullshit, which is great. I mean, hey, invent the spore drive, retcon out. Invent Centaur androids, retcon out. Hey, go for it. But it's definitely, should be a different episode or a different scene, not here and now.
Caboodlefish says Tilly's saying what text the scans found. Stamina interrupt her. Then they asked Tilly, is there more to add? And she awkwardly says no. It's like toxic, or textbook toxic masculinity, to be honest. No. That doesn't happen here.
And he's also always been like that because he's just a dickhead. Nothing about him being a man. He's just a dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bryce and the other Asian guy, they don't talk, let them talked over. So, Yeah, don't be saying that sort of stuff. He's just a dickhead person, not because he's a man.
Yeah, but that's definitely not this scene, and I don't think that's in this episode at all. I've watched it like 4 times now, so doesn't ring a bell.
What do you think about Culber's clear whitening beard? I keep seeing him being like, "Oh man, he had such a crispy beard before."
Now, salt and pepper beard,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fine.
He just felt so young in season 1. It's like, oh, 3 years later, already. It just stands out because he's such a striking face.
So this little mention of Picard, though, I just want to talk about for a second, kind of implies that Q doesn't change Picard back. Because if Q just like, you're human now, there's never like he ever was an android.
I don't think it implies anything. I don't think they'd know. I don't think they'd care. I don't think he'd. I don't think he'd check Stamets beyond the records. He didn't do anything more than a Google search.
Yeah, but I'm sure Q would just blink all that shit out of existence and just make him human.
But that doesn't mean the process wasn't a success the first time. I think that's
No.
I don't. Yeah. But also, I think that would be Shea Bond's team admitting they made a mistake, so they don't like doing that. But next scene, which I said, this was one of the things I said in the episode, my version of the episode. I can't tell if this Vulcan or Navarian scene, which is glorious, is LED wall or green screen. I think it's a green screen because of the way it's composited. It feels way more 3-dimensional than an LED wall. And the way Saru comes in, like, he's obviously composited in. Like, that's a CG, door, CG shadow. Like, he's obviously not. So either way, they have to composite him in. But it feels like green screen to me with how crisp their edges are. But it's like it's such a good shot. And looks so big and broad, but I think it's a green screen because it's just too complicated otherwise. But it's a really lovely visual and harsh lighting, and the fact that Navarre hasn't changed since I was young is a lovely sentiment. I thought it was a lovely little just bit,
Yeah. Oh, you had a holo.
Just say holodeck. Say holodeck. Or hologrid.
It's not though.
It can be a holodeck. If there aren't any holodecks anymore, everything's a holodeck.
But that term would have been forgotten 600 years ago when they started using this, because it's not a deck per se. It's not a room dedicated to it.
I don't know. I mean, so many things have stayed the same, but
No, not after centuries. No. Like, yes, we still film an episode instead of record an episode, or we still dial a phone instead of, whatever. But in 100 years, 200 years, those will all be forgotten. So I don't know. It didn't bother me. I just wanted to see an actual holodeck. But just the
Jason
recorders, I guess.
They do use green screen. They used green screen in the first episode. They sometimes use LED wall. They absolutely use green screen as well. You can't do everything with everything. There's lots of green screen still. Like, all of the windows are green screen, and episode 1 there's green screen. So yeah, you can kind of tell when the LED walls because it's different. It's a different sort of effect. You can't literally replace one for the other. It's very different technology.
And this is where we find out that the computer's name is Zora now. And picked it herself. That might tie into Calypso. Probably not.
What do you think of it being her quarters? That's now a holo room.
I think it's fine. I'm sure there's holographic emitters all over the ship at this point. Right. So.
Although someone did point out he did absolutely just walk through one of her chairs. Because if he's not known, a bit funny.
Yeah.
I just wish it had been a separate little cubby. I don't know, just standing. That's just me, but it is the epitome of the god tech, but it's fine. Just would have been nice as like a dedicated, I don't know. But yeah, Zora, there you go, official. He sort of acts surprised, but not really. But yes, that's the Sphere Data future name.
And this is a great scene as well between the two of them, talking about how Book went, and there was no way I could really stop him, but I don't feel he's ready. And Sarah's like, yeah, it could be a problem for your relationship. And she's like, the captain in me knows that it was the right thing to do. Book knows that it was the right thing to do. But I still... about it. Good conversation here. Good having a good friend on board to be able to talk to you about it. So I really enjoyed this thing quite a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of fun seeing both in captain uniforms. But again, he's not acting like Saru, like pre-Saru. This is another new character of Saru. He's now Ambassador Saru.
Well, Yeah, and he says, maybe we should put in some more safety plans, and that, brings up the tether and stuff. So,
Well, the tether of uselessness.
well, yeah, we'll get into that though. But
I like the next scene though, although he would have been briefed probably before this, but it's fine. It's
you
fine.
want to, hey, you want to send the only two people that can operate the spore drive into this thing?
It's a bad plan.
Oh, and then the whole, you might as well just blow me out an airlock. That was kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
And just the
But
acting
anyway,
was so, you can tell he's not still pissed, which is so strange. He's over it already, and that was like his one thing that carried over. And then he gets it out to, yeah, we don't want that. we just don't want that. But it's fine, you know. But
yeah. So he's going as a hollow and a real-time hollow essentially.
which
So
they've done for, they had that tech in DS9. So this is, half a 1,000-year-old tech. It's the whole point is that they can feel it as if you're really there. Although that the feeling has no part in the final scene, so it's a little bit overhyped. It doesn't actually play any part specifically.
yeah, that would have made more sense when she's like, "Can you turn this wave into programmable matter?" And she's like feeling it with her fingers. It'd be better if Stamets was doing it, so Stamets could be on the ship and actually like in this real time.
Yeah.
Because that would have translated over into that, right? But yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't play any part in the story at all. It would have been normal if he was a hollow, because they can do that. That's how their normal communicators work. They've had multiple people that can, whatever. But it's and it is a bit of a. He does even mention you go through huge gravitational waves to get into the anomaly. But the tether is meant to be. It isn't. The tether isn't keeping the signal going, although it's kind of implied. It's to make sure Bookship stays close enough to the ship to be active. So the distance is the issue. So in Book. But the that's never an issue either. The tech is so advanced it can go through the gravitational wave flawlessly, like perfectly flawlessly. It's a very, very advanced tech.
but I like the little talk here between Stamets and Hugh, where he's like, "I don't know what to say to the book on a good day," and the whole like, what did you want people to say to you when you lost me? And it's not the same thing, but it is because it's grief, and grief is all the people just deal with it differently. So just let Book kind of guide you.
Matthew says, "Why don't they just give Book a hollow emitter?" Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. You've now invented tech where, last week? Why didn't they send Tilly and think? Why didn't Burnham go into work B with this tech? It would be much safer. And they're going to forget about it. Well, I think it's going to be an important plot point at the end of the season, but or they'll forget about it. So, very strange.
Yeah. But I love how Stamets brings up here that it's been awkward between them since he spore jumped Discovery, and Stamets hasn't really said much to him in 5 months, which we find out later. So, yeah, great. Good. Yeah. At least it's addressed.
Yes, and they're not even characters you ever associate together. Even that, I don't know if they spent any scenes really together in season 3. They're not really the pairing you think of, despite them having the most in common for their for their specialist role.
Alyssa Jericho says, "Why is there no time dilation going on, as always happens in the event horizon of a black hole? Because it's not a typical black hole. There's still the accretion cloud. It didn't get sucked in. There's weird shit happening. That's why."
Well, it might not even be a black hole. They wouldn't even know that by the end. It's literally it doesn't. And as soon as they put a thing in it, it does everything wrong and weird as well. It's so unknown. They don't even know what it is by the end of literally being inside of it.
Well, let's end this poll. We got 109 votes. Which was better so far, episode 1 or 2? And 61% say episode 2, 39% say episode 1. So we'll end that poll. And I don't know if you have another one you want to throw up there, but
I can throw one. In my poll, it's 51% episode 1, 49% episode 2, with about 75 people.
One more like to get to 100, guys. Keep the super chats flowing. Very behind on super chats for being almost an hour in, so it's the Monday. Things are a little off, so that's cool. But if you can, please do. We'd really appreciate it.
I'm gonna think of a poll.
You think of a poll. I do like the transition between seeing Hugh and then all of a sudden seeing Book, and he's like, "Oh, hi," and he actually takes a step back. He's impressed by the interface and how it feels so natural. That they said I wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but I didn't believe them, essentially. And then he asked Book, I've been meaning to ask you, but when you use the spore drive, do you get a tingling in your hands, or a tingling in your arms, or cramps in your hands? And Book just doesn't answer him. And then he goes to pet Grudge, because I refuse to call her Queen. And I love the whole, she can't smell hollows, you'll freak her out. Don't do that. And he takes her and stows her away safely. So,
and that might play a part later as well. Like if I was kind of waiting for a triple level reaction, like something distinct, because then you could use that later on. Because if this thing is not needed for this to work. That's just so it's tactile. So you can there might be a scene later on where the hollow walking through the ship and it's like, but it's kind of half a setup, but also just a thing for Walker to say.
And Stamets like, is there anything you need? Whatever, just let me know. And he's like, being quiet would be a good start. So.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah.
I don't like you. I've never liked you. Go away.
I don't need a tether, and I don't need a minder, as he says.
Buddy counters back saying, "I'm here for the data, bitch." Well, not so much the bitch bit, but and that shut Book up instantly. It's like, yeah, stop. I'm literally more important here than you in the abstract. Anyone could pilot this mostly as well as you can. Only me and Detmer and a few people. Not Detmer.
Probably Burnham. She could probably.
Oh, she could do both at the same time, Stuart. Come on, stop.
Yeah,
both.
That's true. Why they just send her as a hollow?
Yeah, she'll put a hollow on her head and she'll be in both seats.
Captaining and flying. Yes, that's how this works.
Yes. But
then they attach
a nice shot of the ship leaving as well. Still always blue, but well lit, despite a big ass cloud. Mm-hmm. And the tether's cool. I like the tether.
And Book is surprised because you said dust layer. There's some pretty large chunks in here. And Stamets is like, yeah, I just went through a planetary system.
I mean, that shows how he doesn't think about people. But it's like, yeah, because you all got killed! Oh. Yeah, that's a really, that's a moment.
Yeah.
That's a moment. Just being science. And then you get the first of his many hallucinations. He sees birds. And it is hallucinations, you don't see it hit the window. They kind of work as hallucinations, but they don't kind of work because you could also believe that they're still corpses in the debris, so it kind of doesn't quite pay off like they want.
Oh, they all turn to it, like they start to all kind of. I don't know. I don't think you'd see birds.
Well, it's such but we don't know what the anomaly is. That's the point. It's such a they could have made that as part of the plot. Like there's still remnants of people that could have been a thing, but it's a hallucination, just not quite doesn't quite work.
Kahim's face. Punk. On the windshield. Oh.
Too soon. But as soon as they go in and start noticing the destruction, they say, "Oh, everything's changed. An anomaly is forming. The thing's happening." They get slammed. The fire plume generators go off, and a rather good integration of live action wire work, CGI smokes and gravityness, and some CGI peel, I'm sure, and it's a very effective little sequence of. Mm-hmm. Non-floating.
And the whole I can't reach my station. Yeah, no shit. And I love Zora is like,
yep.
Yeah, the gravity plating's still active. It just can't compensate as fast enough. And it'll be ending in now. Thunk. Thanks.
Yeah, that was it's so clinical, and that's what they would be. But I thought it was a bit silly though, because the whole point about the future stuff is that you've got programmable matter controls. So her reaching the controls are non-point. She could easily call up programmable matter and I'm just saying.
I'm not sure how far it can go away from the console.
Oh,
yeah, make a joystick or something that you can hold on to if that happens again or something, right?
They've got replicable matter tethers going through a giant gravity storm.
I know they do.
Yes, it could go to her hands. Of course it can. That would have been a perfect moment for that, for sure. But they come down and they fire every single spark cannon, and we see all of these same exact spark cannons fired again and again for all the same locations, all the same rocks, and we don't even get a sense of why they're being damaged here. Because this is a end of episode level destruction event feeling moment, and yet their shields are fine, their hull's fine, their power systems are fine, their spore drive's fine. They have no apparent damage, and yet what's blowing up here? What's going wrong? And they even say they can't survive one more attack later. But
she says damage report: port nacelle needs repairing, power failure in engineering, and hull integrity at 55%.
Right. So what are the shields at?
They don't say the shields.
But the shields will go down first.
I assume they didn't have the shields up because of the tether. They didn't expect to get hit because Tilly does say that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah,
But yes,
you're not going next to the...
stupid to not have them up.
It's like saying coke down shields up when approaching Vija. Like, yeah, you're this thing killed Quajon, you got your shields up. It just feels like this should be the, you know, and I actually would have loved it if the ship became basically disabled at this point, like useless from the first hit. But you shouldn't use your 10 out of 10 explosions in the first moment because it's like, well, that's it, the ship's fricked. It's like, well, no, it's fine, completely fine. In the abstract.
And a little back and forth between Stamets and Book, like, can you keep this thing steady? Are you kidding? Well, you know, he's like, I'm working magic over here. Well, then magically keep it steady.
That's such a Stamets thing to say.
Yeah, and then he loses navigation like right away. So what does that mean? Just you can't map where you're going? I assume you can still tie out the ship because you can still move around. But when I hear lost navigation, I think, yeah, you basically lost your astrogator. You can't see anything around you and plot a course. I don't think it means lost control of the ship.
It was
because he clearly hasn't.
It was the worst line so early on. Is that's like one of the worst things that possibly happened to your ship. They should be dead at this point. If you can't avoid the rocks, you're dead. If you can't head back, you're dead. I assume yeah, they haven't got like navigational sensors, so it's all manual. But you can't be avoiding rocks with manual because you can't predict them. And you can't, like, how do you know which way is left and right and up and down and back to discover if you can't navigate? So it's a really bad choice of what the problem is.
Well, he doesn't know. That's why later they tell him to ride the waves that are heading towards Discovery.
But he shouldn't be able to find the wave, though, because they should be off course at this point because they've got no navigation control. Like, how are they finding a wave? Why does it happen to be going past them?
Huge. They're at...
Well,
anyway,
yeah, but it's 3D space. I mean, if it's that huge, he's going to get caught either way. I mean, it felt like quite a small relative, like, catching a wave rather than the entire anomaly going towards them. So he clearly has navigation, it's just a non-line. The Reliant says, Discovery should have a cloaking device. It does, Reliant. Already does.
But what would that help in this instance?
Don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, Tilly and Adira are figuring things out. And
more explosions.
Tilly kind of snaps at Adira. And Adira's like, trust me. It's like, no, you can't say that. We all get checked here, double and triple checked. So know your place. And kind of puts Adira in her spot, which, you know. And again, Adira is really assuming the role of Tilly season 1 here with all the mannerisms.
To a
for
T.
this whole episode. Yeah. And Hugh kind of gives Tilly shit like, you know, she's just trying to impress you. They look up to you. Yeah, anyway.
Well, I didn't think it was going to show. I think it was just saying, by the way, because this shows the difference in Tilly's growth. She's now a command officer because Lieutenant's much higher.
Yes.
But, I mean, she's totally right. Adira is being a child because they're a child. Which is not how they were in the last season, but that's okay. But I like this. It's like, yeah, you do your job. Don't backtalk me. Just follow through. We all could die at any minute. Do your job. So I kind of like that. It was very apt for the scene. Well, I don't know why Adira would look up to Tilly. I don't know if they had scenes together in season 3. So it kind of like it's an odd pairing, especially they're the same character now, give or take. But it's a direction they're going in.
Mm-hmm.
More kablooey?
Well, they find out they have a problem, and then yes, there's going to be another wave. Boom, they get hit again. Yes.
And at this point, they say we can't survive any more impacts, which is good.
We also find out injuries on multiple decks, structural and power failures on decks 14 through 16, and one of the artificial gravity generators gave out completely. So somebody's on some deck doesn't have any gravity.
Well, I would say just beam out when they.
And if they get hit again, that theirs are going to go out as well. Their gravity is going to go out. So.
Yes, they definitely have to leave. But they have a quite aggressive, in a good way, talk with Stamets because she's in captain mode. She's like, "We need this," and Stamets like, "Literally, mate, 5 is the absolute best, and you haven't got 5. I haven't got 5. So they said we're going to leave the situation, but so they're going to remove the tether. But it plays so odd because without the tether, they can't get back. Because they can't get back without that. Even if they haven't got navigation, they just pull them back. So the way Mr. I think Colbert says let them go, and it's like, but they could be pulled into the anomaly and die. Like there's no escape route at this point, and Byrne just lets them go with not enough of a fight or plan B. It feels like they know the script. It's going to be fine, but most of the chance is that they're going to be killed. Their shields are going to fail. They've already run out. They're already almost out of time themselves. The shield power. So at this point, it's like, well, the tension's again a bit gone because there's just not. They're not really at risk. Yeah.
Tilly also says there's 4.5 minutes to the next one, and then 40 seconds after that'll be another one, and they're trying to figure out why they're so irregular, the patterns of these waves.
Oh, so yeah,
which they don't know the answer to yet.
Yeah, so 40 seconds is the. Wait, so Byrne does her entire speech to him in the 40 seconds? I guess.
Well, no, there's another one after that, I would assume.
Okay, so okay, I guess they're only being hit by them from the outside. Okay.
But she's only given them the numbers for the next few waves, so they still haven't showed her the waves yet. So anyway, so yeah, find out how much time he needs.
Then more hallucinations.
And he sees his nephew.
And then we get another redundant scene. She asks Colbert, "Is he stressed or gone crazy?" I don't know. Why are you here then?
In this situation, yeah.
The one reason he's there on the bridge and he fails miserably. Redundant. They want to give him something. There's a few redundancies in this episode, just like that could just be cut. Like, just cut. It's weird.
But they pull the tether, and I think it's cool the way the programmer goes into like 3 separate slots in the front of the ship.
Oh, okay. Do notice that.
Yeah.
Look how good that ship looks there. It's so futuristic looking and just well balanced now.
Yeah. And the pull away was really nice. Yeah. Like there's some nice shots of the ship in this episode.
I wish it looked damaged though, because the amount of damage on the inside, they should have had like score marks and just it looks flawless, or at least like one of the nacelles. Because there's a warp grill. Like you said one of the nacelles was damaged. Have a nacelle flicker, like it just again just you know.
Yes.
Oh, and then a thing comes out of the dude's thing.
The boson energy transfer unit.
And this is just an excuse for him to have a conversation because he's fixing it. While he's fixing it, they get to talk, and it slows down the pace all the way again. It's just like, oh, we've got time for this. It's like we don't. Well,
that's the thing that I think that's the thing that pops up. That's what causes the program matter console. And when it becomes damaged, I think that comes up as like a. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe that I got from it, but
I just thought it was a random thing that was like, here, fix this, and it's like, okay. I don't know. It's just a weird pace thing. It shouldn't have been. This is another like you didn't need this scene.
Where are we here? Hold on. Where did that go? Oh shit.
And yeah, guys, put in your thoughts. Do that $150. So if you can throw in some 5s, that'd be good. And of course, vote in the poll. I asked, do you think this episode has more plot holes, moments than usual Discovery episode? 55% yes, 45% no. So keep voting if you guys want to vote. Just a conversation, and this is when, I'm not pissed at you for Spore Drive, I'm pissed at you for saving my family where I couldn't, which is definitely disarms him because, why would Book know his motivation? He doesn't know them at all. So it's a good little, misunderstanding moment, and Stamets really becomes a lot more human in this scene, which is nice.
Yes, but Stamets in this scene also says that he hasn't been able to send any of the, because Book tells him, take that thing off your head, start analyzing the data. I'll be out if I can. He says, I can't do that because I can't send anything back to the ship. It's all here. It's all stored right here. So yeah, he can't just take it off and go back. So.
Although they can send the signal of him real-time hologram.
Yep.
Which would take
it's
more data.
Communication though. It's like a good upload and a bad download. I don't know.
And that would have to absolutely take more data than a data package. I thought he was lying. I thought that was absolutely a trick to make him stay there connected to the book. I thought we are going to have a payoff at the end where he just takes it off anyway, and he goes to Culber saying, you could have come at any moment, you know that? It's like, yeah, I know. Or like the data. Because it kind of feels like he's lying just like, I know I have to support you here. Like if I leave, you're going to commit suicide or something. Like just, because you lost your entire planet. So I think he's lying. That's kind of what I get from that. Because it doesn't make sense otherwise.
Corcross says, I got the sense that the kid wasn't a hallucination, but maybe trapped like in the anomaly. It's a distinct possibility. I still think Hakeem and Leto, the brother and the nephew, I think they're still alive. Because Book said get somewhere safe.
Yeah.
They had a little bit of time to maybe get to a ship, and at least if they were
beam,
off the surface.
Launch.
Yeah, or something, yeah. So I think they're going to end up showing up later in the season, is my guess. Or at least one of them.
Or, I know someone also said that maybe there's a living element to the anomaly and it's sending it to his brain. So yeah, I totally, it's a possibility. They're not played like they're not played like hallucinations the way you'd conventionally play them.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, there's something odd there, or it's just, we'll give him the episode of PTSD and then move on, which is also possible.
Yeah. But here's where they show the what the subspace waves look like, and they're going to hit harder and harder and harder. But they think, in theory, that Book can ride one of the waves out because his navigation's out, so just ride one straight to Discovery. And his engines are losing power, and they don't have navigation, so... And I love how Bryce steps in and says Newtonian mechanics, and talks about kite surfing. So
that's his big scene of the franchise.
So far, yes.
The only awkward thing is that he walked out of his station. He should have started talking at his station, then walked out. He just kind of walks in front, I'm here, hello.
Yeah.
He
walks in front of the hologram, and then he just walks right back to his station after he says his thing.
It's like, a bit awkwardly played. Yeah. But it's a fine idea. I just wish they'd said, well, how are shields? Because you would think a gravity wave, which literally just it forced a moon into a planet and destroyed it. He's riding one of those waves that you'd think would be, and all the rocks in that wave would also be moving fast. Yeah, there's no sense of it actually causing danger to a ship, but it would because the ship's almost out of shields. But it's not going to cause any damage, so who cares,
But they're wondering how he'll know when to engage or hit the wave. And Burnham asks if Tilly can turn the holo rendering into programmable matter. And she's like, yeah, why? And the next scene, she's talking to Book saying, yeah, just like kite surfing. Hit at the right angle, carry your ship out. And I'll tell you when on my mark. And I love how she's got the programmable matter wave pattern thing beside her. That was cool.
But I was shocked at it. I was like, why isn't Bryce doing it, who's the surfer? You haven't surfed before. You lived on Vulcan, a planet of sand. What? That would have been the perfect moment to give him the chance to shine. Why is Burnham taking over? Like, she could still talk to Book, but I have no idea why she's doing this. She's not the one that's qualified for this. Like, compared to the guy whose idea it is.
And Area 51 says, Bridge is so damn big, he had to walk over so they could hear him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I agree with you. I think Bryce would have been much better. Like, now's the time to hit that wave, because that's what he does.
Yeah. It's such a weird... I know she's the main character to give it back to her. He doesn't feel motivated, except she's the main character. So that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But he misses it by a second because he questions.
Yeah, on my mark, get ready.
Are you sure?
Now. Are you sure? Go. Yeah. That always bothers me in movies. Like, you got to do it on my mark. And they do the countdown. Now. And then the character will say something or do something, and then...
Time to go.
Now. Now is now.
Showtime. No, you missed it. Fuck.
Yeah.
I should have said one word.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll give Book a lot of credit here. He feels like really truly defeated. Like he if Stamets wasn't there, he would have let himself die at this point. I think he was right there.
Yeah, I think so.
And so yeah.
But Stamets says another one will come. You'll have another chance. That's a thing. We have enough for one. We have enough engine power for one more attempt.
And shields for 10 more. It's fine.
Yeah. And then he says, it's over. I'm alone out here. You're not even here. No one's here. And Stamets is like, I am here. We're all here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we get the child, the nephew coming in, and clearly he's having a mid-moment crisis, which also shows that he doesn't need to pilot because he's being hit all the time and they're not causing damage. So I
Mm.
guess the damage, again, the threat of the anomaly is 0 in the anomaly because he's not part anymore.
Mhm.
But I do like Sorry Going to Boom saying, "Hey girl, don't be a captain, be a partner." And it's very sweet how he
Yeah.
says it, and her tone changes so much, and
Mhm.
it's a good acting piece, although awkwardly framed in the bubble. It should have been go into your ready room and said it. Then she could like walk
The
around a bit and.
Yeah, the cone of silence,
Yep.
or the sphere of silence in this case.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward because like you could still read lips in theory, and it just plays a bit odd because it's just it doesn't quite work. But
Yeah.
or
Well, she tells him that
she
she
literally could
couldn't.
have beamed to her crew quarters in the same amount of time. Done.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I know. But she tells him that there's nothing that he could have done, and he's like, "No, I should have known. I should have sensed it from the way the birds acted." And she's like, "No, it's not your fault." And then he said, "I should have taken them with me," and blah blah blah. Yeah, he's feeling a lot of guilt.
yeah. No, it's and yeah, his face acting and her face acting both good. And then
Yeah,
these hand shots. If you like fetish hands, you are right here for this moment.
Yeah, like I think you could actually copy his fingerprint patterns and get the actor's fingerprint patterns. Maybe he has a fingerprint reader on his front door of his house.
I think it's a CG hand, but yeah,
it's really cool looking though.
it is. It's a very effective little thing.
And they both push the wave at the same time, so
Yeah, and there's fire, and they go through, and absolutely fine. Not much else to say really on that.
And then the whole any sign? Oh, the tension.
Yeah.
Oh, here he is. Yeah, whatever.
And then they clap Bryce for some reason, which I thought was super out of character. It's like you don't clap in Star. That's not. It was like you did one thing in 4 years. That was.
Yeah, we didn't think we thought you were a mute. We didn't think you could talk. Good job, guy.
Yeah, it was so like condescending and demeaning. Like, did you clap Tilly? Did you clap Burnham last week? No, it was so out of place.
But the Tilly and Adira moment with the high five and nice work was
that was a
good moment. Yeah.
But the acting of Adira like, oh, it's not like she was in season 3, so very odd juxtaposition again. But yeah, nice. Now this is a good little moment with them too.
Yes, Stamets and Book in the thing.
They're both humans here, which is nice.
Talking about how the data will be like a gold mine. Well, they don't know yet.
They don't know yet. We'll give them this moment, Stuart.
Yes, we will. Oh, I just lost the scene again. Damn it! There it is. Okay. Yeah, and then the whole yes, I do get tingling in the arms. It's the weirdest thing when he spore jumps. So, and then Stamets thanks him for saving his family and all that, and so yeah.
Like it says, it could really have done with. Oh, and by the way, I could have sent Dave back at any moment. Book's like.
Yeah. Oh, muted.
Nope.
You're muted. There you go.
Yeah, like I say, you should have said, oh, and by the way, I could have sent it back at any time.
But I know you needed somebody with you. That would have been a great moment, actually.
Take it off, and I was like motherfucker. Like, that would have been such a strong little. And that, I would have even been fine F-bomb there. Motherfucker. Like Samuel Jackson sort of way. That would have been a nice little.
Oliver Lavery Farag puts in £5, so thank you so much. Thank you. Hand shots, the filmmaker's tool to solve every continuity problem. It's the B unit.
Yeah. I thought I saw one more thought here as well. I think I had, or maybe not. I don't know, but it's good.
Then we get the Tilly and Stamets scene, which ends so cringily.
Yeah,
but
it's season 1 Tilly again, which is weird to keep flittering between them.
It's good up until the very end. Like,
yes.
She's like, I don't feel like myself, and thanks for the advice with Adira, but I really need to talk about. I don't feel like me. Something's off. And he's like, well, talk about it. And then the whole go save the universe thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, okay. It's like, oh, for fuck's sakes. It was just really stupid.
Yeah, and also in this scene, I just realized that Kolb was literally only here to service other people's scenes. He's had no personal moments of actual growth or character. Everything's revolved around someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I guess that's a Doctor's role in general, but none of them feel driven by... Because he's just walking down a corridor. She's like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Yes, let's talk about your character for a scene. And he's so lovely and charming, but he's just being dragged along by the story. Which is a lot... I mean, well, better than the bridge crew. I mean, the Asian character, I can't remember his name, or was it Bryce? No, it was there.
Reese.
Didn't even get literally anything. Didn't even get anything. So they're being dragged on even further. But yeah, definitely an odd little...
And Double Guitar said that had to be ad-libbed and left in. I agree.
No.
I hated the way that scene ended.
Yeah, you're right. It feels very unnatural, which means it was natural, because no one would write that. Yeah. And then we're back to the crew quarters with 6 windows for one person.
Which doesn't match the exterior of the ship at all.
Garbage crew quarters, yeah.
Anyway, nice scene between Adira and Gray here. The whole, you did good today. We tried to make a joke out of, my math made waves. Ha ha ha.
It's a good cringe, but it is definitely a cringe. It's not, it's very tonally different to everything else. It's another hard right again. Yeah, and again, Adira's not as good as we saw it last season. I think just not quite as watchable. I don't know.
Well,
it's fine. Yeah.
Feels guilty because of this was Gray's day to see the new body, and just feels bad for everything that that they are feeling.
Even though Gray knows all the feelings because they're in the brain, so it's like, I know all this. So do all of this,
Yeah.
But then back to Booker and Burnham, and he finally sort of breaks down as we wait until all 2 days, but I'm just left with the feeling Quajon's not really gone. There's something else here. They'll time travel, or the Anomaly will bring him back. It doesn't have.
I like the idea of them being in the Anomaly, Leto and and being linked.
Because if you could bring everyone back because they live in the Anomaly, then the planet is just a planet, is a place, I just don't think something about the tone doesn't feel the distinct death.
This is what caused the destruction of Romulus in the past.
My brain doesn't connect those points. Hold on, I don't know.
It's fine.
Okay.
Well, what caused it? It was subspace, whatever that hit the planet. It was weird. So subspace supernova. Maybe this is the result of that.
Right.
Anyway, continue.
But yeah, quick, powerful. Then on to... I was waiting, because at this point in the episode, I'm not engaged very well. It's not really grabbed me. This is the big sting at the end, and it is so bittersweet.
Before we get into that, though, Taylor T, I appreciate that Disco is not glossing over the trauma people are going through. Nice to see random deaths having impact on people. Feels real.
Yeah. Last year we talked a lot about they literally left everyone they ever knew and never dwelled on it except tiny amounts. We've already had more angst in this 2 episodes than we have all of last season. I just wish the A plot was better. Yeah. So all was missing is a better main story.
But yeah, this end where she's like, even though Discovery held its position, this is what, the gravitation got worse because this thing has basically changed direction. And nothing in her knowledge of astrophysics can explain it. And Sora's like, but we did this. We risked everything to get in here to get this analysis to predict its path. And you're saying that we can't do that? No, it could go anywhere, anytime, with not having any kind of warning at all. Now, that makes me wonder, does this thing slip into subspace and reappear somewhere else randomly? Because if it's just moving at sublight, it's like tough.
It takes hundreds of years to get anywhere.
Yeah, not a threat. So if it's slipping through layers of subspace and appearing randomly, that would be a threat.
It's just they have no evidence of that, and they
don't.
Like, if it should have disappeared between the last scene and this scene, and then Tegan Star's like, It was here only 5 minutes ago. Yes, it's gone into subspace. And then it can go anywhere, anytime. It's a really poor ending, given the thing is clearly not a threat. It's not moving faster than light. It'll take hundreds of... Remember, a light year is a year away at traveling speed of light. If it's traveling speed of light, which the ship can't do in an impulse, it'll still take a year to go 1 light year. It'll take literally hundreds of years to reach another planet, so it's a very non-threat. I mean,
it's a not our problem threat. Let's just move on now.
Well, yeah, it's like, where's it heading to next? Aegon 4. How long will it take to get there? 63 years. Oh. Oh, okay.
That's plenty of time for evacuation.
Yeah, I'll just go. I'll dinner first then. I'll just. My son will deal with it. I'm gonna go retire first, and they'll deal with it.
Yeah.
But Alan Parr.
It's like the garbage and the pollution, and let our kids deal with that shit.
With tachyons. But Alan Parr says, and the flaws we're pointing out in this season are relatively small compared to seasons 1 and 2. Everyone has different things that bother them. For all Trek fans, yes, which is fantastic. Yep. The show is getting better, and we're still going to call out the negative things because we call out both, and it's phenomenal. They're not the big things anymore, mostly. Still plot problems, but yeah, it's great. They're getting better all the time, or at least overall better.
And you love the zoom out, how it looks like an eye at one point.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes like a...
Shelby doors open at the end. Oh. And no book ship, because you should be able to see book ship, shouldn't you? Because it's the entire Shelby.
Pretty much, yeah. Except for when it's not, because it hasn't been before. We've seen the ship parked in there, and it's not as big as the goddamn shuttle bay door, which is why in the first episode, when it came out and it was the size, I was annoyed, because it's not supposed to be. But anyway.
But it was last season as well. But literally, yeah, you can even see the front of the room. So where are the work bees then? Because in the last scene we see work bees, like they park in there with work bees. You can literally see the entire bay and there's no room for it. And it definitely can't go like a deck below where the work bees may be stored. Come on, just close the door. We don't have to worry about this. There's no bookship. And they're in the hangar bay over the sea. But yes, the anomaly, and it is a cool design. It's clearly gravitationally black holey feeling, but there's way too much going on for it. And yes, it looks even more like the Voyager wave, the big orange one that phases through space. But that's also just how anomalies can look with certain properties. So it's really, really hard to tell. But yeah, big and menacing, but, you know, slow as all hell. So, yeah. Pac-Man vibes. Yes, no Klingon level issues. Absolutely. Just a few plot things. But that's okay. Because often you never know.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Jason O says, boggles my mind. I just skipped over a huge character plot point, called it bad and weird and continued. And then Spike says, that's Trekyards for you. What do you mean? What did we miss? We talked about Adira dealing... what did we miss? Oh, the PTSD with Book at the end.
It was a nice
and dealing with his guilt
moment.
and actually crying.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the catharsis of the episode. We've spent more time than the rest of it. Yeah. And we do.
Don't like it? Don't watch. It's pretty simple.
And we spend 2 hours on these things. We cover everything in the episode. 2 hours. Yes. So yeah, what do you guys think then? I will put on a poll as well. My final result: 59% yes, plot holes; 4% no, 102 votes. Let me think of a new poll briefly.
Oh, they're talking about Tilly asking for therapy. We talked about that. It's going to be a major plot point for this season.
Yeah, because she's either going to leave the show, leave the ship, or die. Something drastic, I think.
Yeah.
Which is certainly something for a character to do. Or go back in time. There's sort of that option as well.
And the that was weird thing was the way she ended the okay, I'll go save the day.
Yeah.
That was really dumb and out of the character. Well, not out of the character. It was just cringy.
It just felt inorganic, even to a scene of nervousness.
Yeah, no, it's super important, and I'm a fan of Tilly's character.
Yeah, and he loves Tilly, so if he thinks it's weird, then, you know.
I don't think her asking for therapy or help is weird, which is what I think.
That was a great scene.
Implied by those comments.
Well, you said great scene until the end. So, yeah.
But yeah. So guys, wow. Slow Monday, but that's okay. If you guys want to super chat in with your scores out of 10 for this episode, please do so. I'll read those after we give our final numbers. And if you just want to do your score in the regular chat, Samuel will read those. But we are going to be late today with super chat. So if you can, please do. If you can't, it's fine. We'll try to make it up later in the week. But really didn't expect such a low number today, but that's okay.
This is our worst month for a while, so this is like, oh, double stab to the heart.
Which is weird because there's new Trek on, and
yeah,
usually we're doing pretty good. So
this is Discovery. Discovery has more viewers, but we just got to expect to earn less than with Christmas coming. Oh, so guys, if we can get that $40, that'd be good. But I put a new poll up, and this is just intriguing for me because what's good about this episode is that you don't know anything new by the end of it, really. You know that you don't know anything. And I said that in our other review, that it's bold for them to have a complete downer of an episode and not learn anything new, really. That's really a bold move. So my poll question was, are you more excited for next week now than you were at episode 1 into going to 2? Because episode 2 was kind of like, well, we're going to see something in Anomaly. This is now, well, we know something about it, what are we going to do next? So were you more excited at the end of last episode for this episode, or now that you've seen this episode for next episode? Bit convoluted, hopefully you understand. But I'm more excited for next week, because I'm just like, okay, they've got through the unknown phase. We can jump start. Don't know what's going to happen. Anything, and a lot of trailer stuff was in this episode too. So it's like, what's left? I don't know, Yeah.
Yeah, and Jason knows that some folks around the world haven't seen it yet. Understandable, but even when they hadn't seen the other episodes, our numbers were still like 3 times as high as what they are right now. So
so this is our worst review one in 2 years, and a lot of these shows haven't come out for the rest of the world. And the Monday Night Pillar at Work, Friday Night Pillar at Work too, same time, I mean, we have plenty of viewers. It's not as if the viewership's weird.
No, viewership's right on where it should be. So.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Stuart, what do you think of closing results? And do you think anything different now done a full breakdown? Because that always does add a sense of depth.
No, it doesn't. Nothing really hit me as change my point of view kind of thing. Like I said, I like this one a lot better than the first one. Just there's some really great scenes between characters, especially with Hugh, as you said. He's kind of like this the prop-up character for a lot of other people in this one.
But he does it so well. I just wish he was given some scenes for himself.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will get some more in the season. So the way they handled Book's whole PTSD thing was awesome, actually. Kind of came full circle where he even admits at the end that he wasn't ready to do this and he's upset, cries because he misses Leto, and he always thought he didn't need a home, didn't need Quajon. It's just the way that was all handled very well. Tilly as well, because in the first episode this season she was off, which we mentioned, and then to wrap up with this one, asking for help and not knowing why. Yes, she saw the guy got killed last episode. It's very impactful for somebody. So that was fantastic as well. The Adira and Gray stuff was good. Burnham was a captain. Saru is back doing Saru-y, things, giving it good advice. I really, really hated the flamethrowers on the bridge. They're just getting obnoxious, and I hope they tone them down. But it is what it is. A lot of the Anomaly stuff was kind of dumb. Just being able to have the tether attached, and I realize it's not a normal black hole, and that's the point they're going to eventually get to, but still there should have been problems with the hollow, or Stamets hollow, and things like that, because those are pretty severe gravitational anomalies that they're dealing with. So anyway, let's see what else. Bryce got a line, which is great. Again, probably more than he said in 3 years, so that's awesome. And yeah, other than that, I mean, it's definitely going to be things that'll pay off in this next upcoming season. So lots of setup for stuff coming up. So I love the little twist at the end with the anomaly not being what they expected. But yeah, as far as scoring goes, for Discovery,
Season 4.
This season first.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, season. I'm gonna give this one a. For Star Trekiness and its character development, I'm gonna go to 7.8. I thought it was pretty good.
And for all of Discovery?
All of Discovery, probably go to 6.5. There are other episodes of Discovery I'd rather watch, even in seasons 1, 2, and 3. So
that is true. Yeah. Which is kind of interesting, actually. It's not like it was as bad as some season 1. It's just not as watchable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. Marfan's score, yeah, super okay. It's just a weird one, really. It's the better stuff is the character stuff, but there's such small elements of the whole thing, and it just paces all off. It just needed to stop the anomaly stuff about 30 minutes in, and then move to like the analysis phase or something. And there's loads of plot problems. The flamethrowers are very obnoxious. But it's definitely their very first attempt at a true ensemble episode. So I absolutely credit them for trying to do that, what we've asked for years. They don't know how to write those yet because they've never done them, and so it didn't coalesce. And I said that in another review. Like, it's them trying, but they don't know how to give everyone a line yet because they've never done that. At least they're trying, but it wasn't the right one to do that in, I don't think. So it's an interesting oddball of an episode. But I like the science twists. I like Book a lot. The Picard reference was fantastic. That retcon brings us into Picard season 2 with a certain confidence of, and you're unique. Moving on, like Data to like that level of android shouldn't until they made all the other androids which might retcon out. Who knows? But it just doesn't really come together for me, and it's not. I'm quite engaged by content. This one just didn't engage me at many a point. So yeah, it's definitely a weak one for me, and there's definitely a lot more Discovery I'd rather watch. For me, I mean, I've got to honestly this season a 5. It's like, okay, it's not bad. It just doesn't do anything particularly good. All Discovery, I'm gonna say 5 as well because all of season 3 is better, a lot of season 2 is better. A little season 1's better, but there's a lot of trash as well. So I think that's fair for me. Like, yeah, it's absolute middle of the road. Just an overall construction lets it down. So yeah, 5 and 5.
Okay. Well, John's Magnet says, sorry if this was mentioned before I joined, but when Stamets said that the data was on Book's ship, I was certain he was lying to make Book feel the need to survive. Anyone else? Samuel mentioned that. That's what he thought. I didn't think it at the time, but now that scene where they're back in the shuttle bay and having that sit down, it would have been great if he had said, yeah, they've been analyzing the data for like a few minutes
now.
Yeah.
That'd be
but
fun.
I wanted you to know that you weren't alone. Like, that would have been a real connection between him and Buck.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
You know how they could have framed it? It should have been a case of, so they win, so they're being pulled out, and Tilly says, Stamets, the date, okay, we're going through data for the last 5 minutes, it's going great, and Book's like, I thought he said he couldn't send it. Smiles, takes it off.
Yeah.
Like, they've already been, that would have been really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, it was mentioned, but thank you again for mentioning it. We love hearing your thoughts and things.
It's not there in the performance, but it would have been such a nice added twist. Like a little twist. Because that'd be a big character development for Stamets. I mean, he's not actually at risk, so it's not a true like life and death choice, but it's I want to be there for another human being so much. And it's like he'd have to watch the person die in theory and experience the pain of the fire of the explosion if it's not going to kill him. So, and it would have been nice. I was going to say this earlier on. If we'd had a moment where maybe Burnham looked to Culber and said, if something happens on that ship, what happens to Stamets? And Culber says, we're not quite sure. like add a little bit of, well, actually, there is a slight risk of brain death or something. Like there is still a risk.
Or brain damage, at least.
But yeah, brain damage. Like that would have been a nice thing as well. So like I'm not physically here doesn't mean I'm not risking something here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have come through. There's a shit ton of super chats, so we're gonna get into those. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Area 51, $5 coming to assist. Anyone else? Area 51, love you, man. Casual Trekker, $5. Could it be being Monday instead of when you usually do it? Could be, but we do lives on Monday all the time. And
yeah, we do.
Yeah, so
Monday's not an off day for us. Yeah.
Just an off day for a review of an episode, but yeah.
But at least you guys came and kept the chat busy, which we do like.
Yeah.
To talk to you guys.
Yeah. Dr. Ron Slin, $20, which is amazing. Thank you. I just want to hear the captain say this. Shuttle bay doors are overrated anyway. Shuttle bay doors are overrated. However, close it. Simple.
Well, and that's the thing is, that's a joke. If it had the first episode, the door would be a door, and then the thing come out. Perfect. You don't need a door. Actually, need a door. You just need it to be closed. Whatever's there needs to be closed. Anyways, put in your scores right now, non-super scores as well. I actually want to read those out as well. I want to know.
A few.
I definitely want to know your scores. Guys, seriously, put in your scores right now.
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Taylor T puts in $10. Totally random.
Ooh.
My tinfoil hat idea is that the Borg cube from the intro of Lower Decks is going to be an eventual plot point. McMahon said he's got long-term plans. Also, one of them is an artifact from Picard.
Well, that's a very specific Borg cube, and it's got blue. Oh, I think blue light was a change screen. But yeah, maybe it will definitely be a plot point. The Borg cube.
By the way, we have some really great McMahon interviews coming up from Trekyards. By the way,
we have some great Mc content. Yes. Got some got a few little special things for the Christmas New Year season. So while you're busy with your family, expect something kind of special.
Caboodle fish, £2. Book ship not in the bay at the end. No, it wasn't.
Well, it was, but it wasn't. And also, I think I want to say this might be the end of a trilogy of like we might actually see a change in the main plot line after the next episode. Kind of be like in Enterprise, they have like bouts of story. That'd be kind of interesting.
That'd be great.
Or maybe 4, because it kind of feels like a chapter in a, like we've learned so much that isn't information that it might then, okay, now there's the twist, and then we'll get another 4 and another 4. Because that's the thing, they've already literally gone to it, right? The burn was, what it was until like episode 5. We didn't find it. That was such a long drawn out thing. This is already, yeah, yeah.
Taylor T says, when are we getting those McMahon interviews? Over the
go.
Christmas season.
Got some plans.
Yeah, I expected them a lot sooner than this myself. Just saying. Anyway, Sergeant Roadkill, £2. Hashtag carnivorous anomaly.
It might have eaten the Crojan people, yeah.
Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Gravitational anomaly and zero time dilation. Well, it's not a standard black hole. They've just found that out. They found that out when they arrived, and there was the accretion cloud. There wasn't stuff getting sucked in. It was just a swirling mass, essentially.
Well, they don't even say they're being pulled in at all. Like, there's gravity waves coming out, but not gravity pulling them in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's weird. That's the whole point.
And Oliver Lavery Farag puts in £5. That's what the Einstein compensators are for. Winky face.
Yeah.
Yes. That would be a thing.
Yeah, keep putting in your review scores. I absolutely want to know what you guys think. But I'll close out my poll. 62 votes. Are you more excited for next week's episode than you were after just seeing episode 1? 79% say yes. More excited for the next one. 12% no. Which is absolutely, I would fall into that camp. So, cool. And do we know what we're doing for lives? Is there anything you guys want to see live-wise this week? For sub-content of this episode? I know we've got one more edited content to come out. Yes, they go to Navarre, Jason, which is exciting. I'm sure they join the Federation at this point. Which is all good with me. But are we at the non-super scores? We've got, let me go, how far back is that to, we've got, Ozzy says 8 out of 10. Carlos says 6.1. Ozzy again 8 out of 10. Colin 9 out of 10. Kabuto Fish 3. This is Jericho 6.25. John 6. Eric 7. Colin 9. Double Guitars 5. Dr. Roshan 7. Thomas 7. So yeah, pretty varied. Pretty varied.
And I just want to address something that I just saw in the moderator chat.
Oh.
We're glossing over character development things because we're uncomfortable is absolute bullshit. I deal with depression and anxiety. I have no issues talking about things like that and people with PTSD. So whoever's talking about that, that's not at all accurate. So
we're just going through it.
We'll focus more on every character line of dialogue for those scenes from now on. How's that? Instead of getting to just the overall picture and make it a 4-hour review
Which is
instead.
definitely what you want the Trek and Ship dedicated review channel to look at, is distinct PTSD character dialogue. It's not really as much what we're here for, but we talked about it all. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, simple moments are simple, and we can sum up simply.
And sometimes at the end we want to just this is a good scene, moving on, because we want to wrap it up, or it's it's a slow night or whatever. So some reviews are a little bit longer. That's all.
Yeah, and we like the big plot stuff. Character stuff is in there in the scene, and we can summarize it. And yes, we'll see where this goes. But the plot stuff is that's the big grand discussion. We can't theorize how Book's feeling. We know how he's feeling, and we talked about it. And we said good acting. I commented multiple times on his great face, like the face acting. I think I said to someone who watched it yesterday, he continues to impress in the level of his acting. It feels so effortless, the quality. Other than the cast, you can always tell there's some actors just inhabit and are, and some that are acting a role, and he is just so present. Yeah, he's definitely one of the stand. I mean, I said that last season as well. He kind of stands out. He just
seems like a nice guy.
Well, I met him, and he was.
I know, but he's somebody that just by his acting, I think he would be a nice guy, and yes, I'm glad that he is. So
no, he's great. I've met a lot of cast members.
Mark Lawrence, $5. I'd love to see a season arc similar to the Star Trek Online story arc. New Frontiers, probably one of my favorite expansions to the game. Bum bum bum.
Yeah, a lot of Stowe stuff, And I mean, there'll at some point be this sort of stuff in Stowe as well. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to do 31st century stuff, but
one of the ships is going to have a tether thing where you can tether a ship to the end of your ship and whip it around like a weapon or something.
Although they never thought to spore into the Anomaly, spore drive in and tractor him in.
I think they go into it at one point. Based on the
no, not in this one.
No, I mean, looking at the trailers, it looks like they have.
Yeah.
I think there's line of dialogue saying they have to go into the Anomaly.
Yeah, so, but I mean, they could have saved and they could have repaired the ship and then spored in. They know where it is exactly. They could have put full powder shields. If this data is life or death, that was never an option. I mean, because I don't know, would spore drive? Because sure, spore jump would displace all the matter around it. You wouldn't spore into a rock and the rock still exists. It would be phased out as you go in. And the shields would then keep it, and then you could go in front of. I mean, yeah, risky, but I mean, Detmer's also an ace pilot. Yeah. Oh, he's in the Mummy, was he? Oh, nice. Never saw the movie.
Admiral Vance? Yeah.
No, Book. But how advanced though? Oh my god, give him more lines.
Are they talking about Book or? I don't think they're talking about Book.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
Because
we were talking about him, and there's a slight delay, so. Yes.
Sergeant Roadkill, £5. Trekyards plus feels discussion always been excellent. No idea why people think it's not been discussed. I've always noticed it, and I appreciate it. Well, thank you very much for Sergeant Roadkill. That is awesome.
And not to totally go against it, but we were amazed in our first season Discovery reviews where we tried to do everything as fair as we could, while still kind of good, and definitely saying there was good and bad. On some reviews, we literally got UCBS shill when that was more of a thing from the other big YouTube channels that would, and it's the same video saying you're a shill and you're a hater, 10. I remember sending screen caps this is 4 comments apart, and it's well, we're neither, but you can't be called both in the same video. That shows it's other people are taking what you're saying.
Selective hearing. They hear they hear the points that support their point.
And we can't blame people for what they think what we're saying, but I know what you're saying. You know what I'm saying. well, we're very clear, like with our own nurse, but doesn't mean that always comes across. But you know, how could we say what we're not thinking? It's tricky. So I can't please everyone,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Matthew DeFreitas, $5. Good episode. Just wish we could get through an episode where the disco crew is generally happy. I miss optimism. Optimism, Captain.
I don't know if I'd agree with that necessarily. I feel like the crew was quite togetherness. They were focused. The guy that lost his planet was unhappy. Fair enough.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you think?
Burnham was
I mean,
supporting.
like one of those comedy episodes.
Okay.
Where it's, Star Trek always has had deep episode, then a deep episode, and then a really lighthearted one, and then a deep one.
Okay, yeah. I, when you say, I think you're thinking that I'm picturing them being as unhappy, but they're all like doing their job so focusedly for the most part. It's like, well, they're not happy. They're just focused in the moment.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, next week's episode is only like three days away, so that's a slight side effect of this.
That's true.
I think there was a next time on. I think I saw. I think I don't remember anything about it, which is. I think I saw it. I think it went one eye out of the other. That's totally the saying, isn't it? But no, thanks guys. You guys definitely came through at the end. It's still a bit confusing for us, but you know.
Actually, another $20 would be great if we can.
That is true.
I'm just jumping on that, but if not, that's cool as well. You guys really did come through and really pulled us up a lot, and that's appreciated. So.
Ooh. And because I'm totally happy to pimp that. If you Trexsphere, which is a great thing. They're saying that the code for, I think it's for Black Friday plus 35 is 35% off, including pre-orders. So if you were to get the Discovery XL edition Discovery A, which is $75, which is excessive, but you can get $30 off if you use this code plus 35 and use the code. Well, you can't use the code Trekyards on both. I guess it would just be that, but you can get it for $45 rather than $75. Which is and for me that'd be from £60 to £39, which apparently same goes for the Cerritos, which goes from being $80 to $47, which is just shit. Okay, do I want to? I mean, I would love for our guy. I mean, any chance of us getting those from Egomos or not?
I've been requesting shit for a while, and he keeps saying, "I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do," and I never hear anything back. So.
Our last person was slightly better.
Our first one was amazing. She was awesome. But Ozzy Maderas, $2. Trekyards does awesome job always. Thank you so much, Ozzy.
Thank you. So yeah, so seriously, guys, goes the code plus 35 because I do want a refit Discovery A. I think it's a cool variant. Hopefully it has enough sketches. I'd love to see like the design process. I probably won't because I bet some person on the CG2 just sort of did it. Just thought, oh cool, I can do this, and just I doubt John came back and did it. Doesn't kind of feel like his work anymore, which is fine. Just feels unique. And I want the Cerritos, but you know, £60 for each ship is just so much. I mean, 60 GDP to CAD. It's $101 Canadian. For any guys, are terrible. Like, it's awful. So much. The standards were great at like £10. That's why I got them all. And this is literally 6 times the price of a standard. I mean, inflation, sure, but it's like, oi. So yeah, use a code plus 35. What if I get both then?
And Sergeant Roadkill throws in £15.
Oh my goodness.
Fine, this is an early Christmas present as I need a new car, but I missed most of the stream as playing RPGs. Sorry, you need a new car, but sorry for missing most of the stream. But thank you so much. That was awesome.
What were you playing?
And Area 51, $5. Money waves coming from the Anomaly race. You might have the last super chat slot, Area 51. Area 51 was the one that started the first super chat strike. which today was Aussie, even though Jeff Sturm did comment before, but it was one of the membership comments.
Yes.
But Area 51, you might have the last super chat slot today with that $5. So thank you so much.
Let's see how much money I can save, Stuart. I want to see, because I'm just like looking at Eagle Moss, and it's so naughty. It really is. The Eagle Moss ships. Okay, so but the XL isn't available. Oh no, it says it can't pre-order that. Oh, there it is. Okay, so XL, which is excessively XL, even though they're not going to be shipped for a long time. So 150. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money. £159. But what if I use the code, Stuart? How much money can I save? Should people do this? Is it worth it? Let's see. Didn't do all of them.
That's you.
I could save £55, £56 of 150. So that's a third off, isn't it? Yeah, so we're on all three. So that's yeah. So literally, if I buy, this is for any of you guys. So if you guys want to go spend, you can buy the Discovery Refit A XL Special Edition pre-order, the Cerritos XL pre-order, and I can get the Stargate Gould Mothership with the code my plus 35. I can almost get Discovery Cerritos free. Now that's a deal. That's a deal. Excessive. Don't need to talk about it anymore. But you know, there you go, Eagle Moss. I got some more money. Buffy, really? Do you mean like not a video game? You mean? Okay, I guess I'm done, Stuart. There you go. I saw ships and I got excited.
Apparently. That's okay.
Oh, dearie me. Dearie me, Stuart. Oh, woe am I. Oh, but I want that as well. I don't know if that one's... Oh! I know what to get Stuart now. I know what to get Stuart. Okay. Do you want to know what it is, Stuart? Yes, you do.
Sure.
I'm just going to put this on the stream for a second. So everyone knows Stuart's favourite part of this season, Discovery. And this is something that he should obviously get. Or actually get for him, I mean. Let's just get this loaded up.
It'll be delayed for me, so.
It will, yes. Just doing a bit of cropping. Okay, there we go. This is what... We should all buy Stuart a copy of this for Christmas. Dear.
Oh dear God. No, please don't.
So if we all come together, we can get 10 copies of this for Stuart.
Anyone that sends me a copy of that, I will hunt them down and whip the book directly at their head in person.
What, like a queen?
I'll even sign it first.
What, like a queen would do? They'd throw out presents.
Yeah, I'll hit you right in your crown. Boom, baby.
Oh, I'm getting you an XL Dauntless. XL Dauntless and XL Bird of Prey, Retro Bird of Prey. There you go, Stuart.
Oh my God.
Those are your Christmas presents. What you've literally always wanted. Right? Maybe?
Just keep in mind, I know where you live, man.
I might have moved. You don't know.
I know, and I'll find you. Anyway, guys, that is great. Area 51 has the last super chat slot, so thank you so much to everybody that helped us out. Much appreciated. And hit that like button if you haven't already before you leave. And I guess until next time, tomorrow we'll probably have a live, but I don't know what it's going to be on. So
translate into which language?
Spanish.
Siri. So anyway, we'll talk to you later. Until then, he's